This is a nice alternative to preparing greens instead of using fat back and bacon and all that tasty, delicious stuff. We're going to make it tasty and delicious without all the fat. So I took a tablespoon of olive oil. I'm going to go ahead and heat that up over medium-high heat. You can see, yeah, if you were inside, you could see the flames, but it's there, trust me. All right, I went ahead and chopped up some onions, small dice. Would you like to learn how to chop up an onion real fast?
I do. We're just doing a stick for onions.
This is how they taught us in culinary school. It's really neat. Take your onion. You've got the fuzzy end, and then you've got the other end, the top end where the leaves are. Okay, so first you chop that off. Bing. But you leave this fuzzy end on. Now, cut it in half. Half and half. And then peel the skin and that outer layer off. If you have an onion that's kind of like not the freshest, you really need to feel with your bare hands if it's mushy or rotten or whatever. Okay, but the fuzzy end's still on, the root end is still on. We're going to cut like this first, okay? Now because the onion is shaped like this, we're going to cut like this. Now after that top of the arch there, I'm going to slant it in. Okay, so now I've got all these cuts here. Then you go ahead, got to get down now. Now I'm going to slice the onion this way.
Can you move your
Yeah. I will slice the child this way. Okay. But now notice I'm not going all the way through. Okay, I'm keeping it nice and intact. This cooking demo comes with sound effects. All right. Now the next thing, last step, you're going to hold it, kind of do a claw thing so you don't, if you cut
it's only temporary.
you're not going to cut your, and then however big you want those pieces is how you're going to cut this way again. So, I want small pieces. And look! Gorgeous!
I've seen that done on the Food Network, but
It's
I've
like,
never been able to do it myself.
you can try it. I've got plenty of onions, and if you can't afford your groceries, we'll just put you to work right here. Okay, so look at all these lovely little bits of onion. Hi, hello. Okay, so now we've got our oil cooking. When the oil's nice and hot, you're going to put about half a cup. Red onion, white onion, doesn't matter. I've got all these different onions.
Good.
We're going to get that going. We're going to start that. Now, once that cooks down a little bit, once these soften, then I'm going to add my garlic. Now, the reason why I didn't add garlic first is that the garlic's going to brown a lot more quickly than the onions. You always have insurance. So if your pot gets too hot, have some insurance. Have something to put in there to cool it down. All right. Now, I've got garlic here. I've got it in big chunks. We don't need it all mashed up fine like we have in the salsa. This is when it's going to start smelling really good. And the idea is you don't want to brown these. You just want to get them to soften up a bit. Now we'll wait. No, I'm kidding. Okay, so garlic has antibacterial properties. It's good for the immune system. FYI. And because this is an Asian-style dish, we're going to add some ginger. This is about 3 tablespoons of fresh ginger that I've grated. If you don't have fresh ginger, the powdered stuff will work in a pinch. Don't use the same amount. When something's dry, it's concentrated. So you'll use half the amount. That's looking good. Yeah, don't be shy. Come on in. Ginger also has properties in it that it aids in digestion and also will settle an upset stomach. So if you're feeling under the weather, you can make yourself some ginger tea. The onions are softened. Everything's cooking. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm going to start adding my greens. Now, I picked these greens from the garden this morning, and this is another way you can cook them. These are collard greens, and already cleaned them, and I took off that center stem. The center stems, by the way, went to go feed the chickens, so I'm really happy I got to help with the chickens. Okay, now these tougher greens, they're going in first. I've got collards, I've got kale, and I've got Swiss chard. And Swiss chard is like spinach in that it's like a very delicate green. So that's going to cook faster. And if you've never cooked greens before, you'd be amazed how they cook down.
Yeah.
That whole pan, that whole 400 pan here is going to sink right down. But these are so good for you. Talk about fiber and nutrients. Americans, in the American diet, we get plenty of calories. And because we eat just so many calories, it's hard not to be vitamin deficient. Some vitamins that we're deficient of are the B complex vitamins. Okay. I'm going to take this whole mass of greens and I'm going to flip it so everybody gets near the hot surface of the